Hello, my name's Alex Way. I'm one of the counsellors at Plymouth University, and I run a group called Calm and Zoom. And this is a great group for people who might have shock, trauma or anxiety. It's on a Tuesday from 12 till 1, and you can find out more about it by looking at the Student Services website. But I thought you might be interested in hearing a little bit more about some of the exercises and resources that we talk about at Calm and Zoom. So I'd like to share with you some of those now. The first is a great exercise called the butterfly hug. And this is particularly useful for reducing stress, but also strengthening positive experiences. So I'd like to demonstrate that to you right now, if you'd like to join me. So we're going to start by holding your hands with your palms towards you, like this. And then I want you to cross your hands over, and you're going to join your thumbs to make the body of the butterfly. Then what I want you to do is to press the body of the butterfly against your sternum, onto your chest, firmly but gently, and let the wings of the butterfly fan out across your rib cage. Then we're going to gently tap left and right, left and right. You might notice that this feels like quite a soothing thing to do. So we're going to use this technique to help us with a grounding exercise. Okay, so now we're going to start the grounding exercise. And what I'd like you to do is just to take a moment to scan down from the top of your head to your toes. And just notice how you're feeling in your body, what you notice. Whether you're feeling a bit agitated, whether you're feeling any stress or tension. And I'd just like you to give yourself a score, somewhere between 0 being no disturbance at all, and 10 being if I was the most distressed that I ever felt. And you just think what that number is now. So you've just got that. So we're going to return to doing our butterfly hug. So remember, palms towards you, cross your hands over, press the body of the butterfly against your chest. Okay, and what I'd like you to do now is to take a nice deep breath in, reach the top, and then breathe out. And start your butterfly hug. Gentle left and right tapping, as if you were reassuring a worried animal or frightened child. So reassuring tap. Now just notice your breath and enjoy that. So you might like now to add in a positive image, and that might be a nice memory, a calm place that you like to be, or perhaps a time that you felt at your strongest or your best. And continue tapping. Just think about that time or that place, tapping it in. Notice the positive feelings. Is there a word that describes this feeling? Perhaps peaceful, happy, relaxed, safe. Keep tapping. Really enjoy the positive sensations that you're getting. Now add some positive words about yourself and how you would like to see yourself in a difficult situation. So it might be, I can do this, I can handle it, I have strengths, I am loved. Keep tapping. Great, well done. Continue with repeating those positive words to yourself, tapping them in. Enjoy the feelings. Notice yourself calming. Carry on like this until you feel calmer, or you just feel like that's good enough for today. And when you're ready, take a nice deep breath. Hold at the top. Just release. And then just take in the room around you. Notice what there is around you. Stretch a little bit and come back into the room. Okay, so this is the butterfly hug and a grounding exercise. And this would be great if you could practice this several times a day. The more you do it, the more useful you'll find this technique. Great. So next, I'd like to move on to another technique that I call the elements exercise. And this is a really good way of calming and soothing ourselves. And it comes in 4 parts, and it can be really great just to use one part of it if you like, or sometimes if you're feeling really dysregulated or distressed, you might want to use the whole sequence. All right. So with this, we're going to start off with the first element, which is the earth element. And we're going to start by planting our feet firmly on the ground. So making a connection between the soles of your feet and the ground. So just notice that for a moment. Really allowing your feet to sink into the ground, feeling it secure and solid under your feet. Feel the chair or whatever you're sitting on supportive and holding you under your legs, perhaps at your back. And you're kind of reaching out with your body into this moment right here, right now. Good. So next, I'd like you to reach out with your sense of sight. So you could take a look around, and I'd like you to notice 3 things that you can see in your room that you hadn't really paid much attention to before. So just look around. Notice what you can see. Really reaching out, and you're connecting with your environment with your sense of sight. Good. So the next thing I'd like you to do would be to reach out with your sense of hearing. So we're going to reach out and notice any sounds that we can hear, either inside or outside the room. Okay, excellent. So we've really connected with this moment with all of our senses. And we're really grounding ourselves in this moment. And this is a very good way of bringing ourselves into the moment so that we're not thinking about things that happened previously that we've got no control over. We're not worrying about what's going to happen in the future because we don't have any control over that either. But we bring ourselves into this present moment here and now, and we ground ourselves here. Okay, so now we're going to move up the body to the next element, which is air, and this is to do with breathing. Now every time we take a breath, let go, we are replenishing every cell in our body with fresh oxygen, renewing it. Every time we let go of a breath, we're letting go of carbon dioxide, of toxins, of stress. And when you think about it, really the only important thing that any of us are doing is keeping that breath going. So we don't pay a lot of attention to our breathing, even though it's probably the most important thing that we do. So we're really going to just give a bit of attention to our breath now. This is a simple little exercise, and it's called 4-2 breathing. So I'm going to count you in to start off with, and then we're going to take a little moment to follow practice ourselves. So I'd like you to take a breath in for 4 counts, and then we're going to hold for 2 counts. We're going to release for 4 counts and hold for 2 counts. It's your normal breath. It's not a big unusual breath. just like that. So let's take our first nice breath. So breath in, 2, 3, 4, hold for 2, release, 2, 3, 4, hold for 2. And you might like just to take one more breath yourself. And we're going to come back into the room, but I'm going to invite you to actually try that exercise yourself, and you might like to do 10 rounds, 20 rounds, 50 rounds even. But you'll notice the more that you do, the more that you attend to your breathing, actually the more you will calm and regulate yourself. So just give it a go and see how you get on. So we've got earth for grounding us. We've got air for centering us. The next element is a bit of a curious one, and this is the water element. So you might notice sometimes when you get very stressed or anxious that your mouth can get very dry. Okay, and this is part of our survival instinct. When we're stressed or anxious, we're actually in that fight or flight state, and we're ready to flee away from something or stand up for ourselves. And we are not just about to eat a 3-course meal or to go to sleep. So these are very different functions. Fight and flight is very associated with adrenaline flooding through our system. When we are calmer and going to eat or sleep, we have hormones such as oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin flooding through our system. You might have noticed that when babies are very upset or crabby, that their parents quite often give them a dummy or a soother, or they suck their thumbs. So what's that about? What they're doing is actually stimulating the digestive tract, and this promotes those calming, soothing hormones and reduces the adrenaline. So sometimes if you bite your nails, or you're somebody who chews a pen lid, these might be your instinctive ways of trying to stimulate that digestive tract and those calming, soothing hormones. Okay. So how can we do this for ourselves now we know this information? Well, you might think of maybe sucking a lemon, and immediately you might notice that saliva comes into your mouth. Might be nice to think of eating a piece of chocolate or something like that, and equally that can have the same effect. But if that's not working for you, another technique is to very gently, not hard at all, don't hurt yourself, but just to chew the inside of your cheek. I find it easier actually if I do both cheeks, kind of suck them in, and it makes a kind of sucking motion. And you might notice that you're creating saliva. So this is the water element. Creating water is a very calming thing to do, creating saliva. So anytime that you're doing that, you might notice that instinctively you do it sometimes. You're trying to calm and regulate yourself, or you can try this technique. Good. So we've got earth for grounding us. We've got air for centering us. We've got water for calming and focusing us. And now the final element is the fire element. And this is our creative energy. So I'd like you to maybe think about a place that you really like to be, a place where you feel comfortable and that you really enjoy. Calm place. Okay. And when you've got that image in your mind, I'd like you, if you're comfortable, to close your eyes. Just imagine being there and imagine the colours that you can see. Just see the colours. Maybe see the shapes. You might be in a landscape where you can look out around you. What can you see in the distance? What can you see close by? Are there any sounds that you notice in that lovely place that you enjoy being? Are there any smells or fragrances that you can smell in that place? Just notice that. It's under your feet. can you feel? Do you notice the temperature of the air? Is there breeze? Sun on your skin? Just notice that. And when you're in that place that you really love to be, do you notice the positive feelings that you get there? Just notice the positive feelings that you get when you're in that really positive, in that calm, peaceful place. So you might notice that you feel calm, peaceful, happy, safe. And just notice those positive feelings. And is there a word that would take you to that place? And it might be the name of that place, or it might be one of those positive feelings. So this is kind of like a cue word. So one more stage of this. Do you remember our butterfly hug? Well, this is a great thing to do. So if you'd like to get your butterfly, press it against your chest. Okay. I'd like you to think of your special place that you love to be. If you're happy to close your eyes, just notice the colours, the shapes, and the sounds, and the smells, and hold that together with your cue word, the name of that place or the feeling being there, and tap left and right. Tapping left and right, and I want you to notice more and more detail about that place that you really enjoy being. Left and right, and just notice the positive feelings increasing and how that feels in your body. Just spend a moment really enjoying being in your peaceful, calm place, feeling filled up with positive feelings. And when that feels like enough, then take a nice breath. Coming back into the room, noticing what's around you, taking a little stretch. And that's the elements exercise. So earth for grounding us, air for centering us, water for calming and focusing us, and that special place for helping us feel safe and calm and connected. Okay, you might like to just scan through after doing that exercise and see how you're feeling. You might remember at the beginning we checked in with ourselves to see how we were doing, and we kind of gave ourselves a score. And I wonder if that has changed at all for you. So on a scale of 0 being no disturbance and feeling fine, through to 10 being the most disturbed that you feel, how are you doing now? Do you notice even small difference? We're just looking for small changes here. So just notice how that has been for you. So I'm hoping that you've enjoyed these exercises, and that you can really feel that you've got something to go away and have a go at. You're very welcome to come to Calm and Zoom. I would really recommend that if you do any of these exercises that you practice them regularly. Do them when you're not stressed to start off with, so at a calm time at the beginning of the day or the end of the day. The more you practice them, the more effective they become, especially at helping you when times are difficult. So if you want to find out more, come to Calm and Zoom, and I hopefully see you soon. Thanks a lot.